Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Really appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. So thank you in advance. Now, it's been a minute since we've done a fighting game. It's been a minute since we've done a beat 'em up. And by a minute, I mean like a few episodes, but that's long enough based on how many of those are on this list. Now, I'm going to show you a game that is both a fighting game and it has a beat 'em up mode. And it's probably from a franchise that you didn't think had one. This is Guilty Gear Isuka. We also call this Guilty Gear Isuka, but trying to say the proper name for it. So, forgive me if I butchered it. It is what it is. But if you are not familiar with this game, it is a entry into the Guilty Gear series that most people either don't know about or try to avoid. And I understand people who don't like this particular version of this game, but I don't care. Okay. I really, really like this game. And the reason why is first and foremost, it has a beat 'em up mode, the GG boost mode. Okay. And you go through different levels that are based on the levels of the stages you fight in the background, right? Some of the different stages that you encounter per character, but they have a beat 'em up mode. So you fight different random enemies, and then at the end of each level, you fight like a Robo-Kai, or you fight, one of the characters from the game, and it is fantastic. It is also really, really, really hard. Like, personally, this is probably the hardest beat 'em up that I've ever played. But you can do the single player, multiplayer, so it's fantastic. So you're playing, not just a standard, beat 'em up guy, a hard-nosed cop, Mike Hager type guy. You're playing a Guilty Gear character, and you have all the moves that you normally do. You have your super meter, and it's fantastic. The other thing is that this game is 4 players. Now, the beat 'em up mode is not, but the actual fighting game is 4 players. And again, if you know me, that means that I give that bonus points, because why wouldn't you want a 4-player Guilty Gear? It is pure chaos, which is my favorite thing about video games is, if we're going to be fighting, let's fight, in the midst of complete chaos and see who survives. That's really the true test of skill, right? And also that leaves a little bit for luck, so I can kind of sneak in and, pull one out when I probably shouldn't. But the gameplay is basically, if you play Guilty Gear, then you know what this game is about. And the one thing I understand that people really don't like about this game is that you have to press a button to turn from left to right. You also have to press a button to move up and down between the planes when you're not doing the beat 'em up mode. So I get everybody's, gripes with this, but also I don't care. Okay. Like, if you do the arcade mode, the game kind of judges how well you do. And so you'll start off doing one-on-one fights, and it's pretty good. And the other thing is there are no rounds, right? You just have lives. So if you lose your, you run out of energy, run out of health, whatever you want to call it, you lose one of your stock, and then you come back. There's no pause or anything like that. And I always thought that was really cool. Makes the game more fast paced. But this game, the better you do, the harder each level will be. So you start off doing one-on-one fights, and then if you do well, you eventually start doing 1-on-2s. And if somehow you decide to beat that, then they might even put you in a 1-on-3 just to let you know that, the game doesn't actually want you to win. It just wants you to play it. And the versus mode, which is where we had our most fun, was me, myself, right? So it's me, it is Steven, and it's Ronnie. And then if we had another person who was willing to jump into the fray, we could have some 4-player action. But a lot of times it was just 3 of us playing, which means don't get caught in the middle, because I can't be held responsible for you if you get caught in the middle, because we're going to take advantage of that. You had a disadvantage, and that, that needs to be exploited. But I always really enjoyed this game because of how fast paced it was and how different it was, especially at that time. And, during this time, we were very big onto 4-player action. So this was a fantastic way to get that in. And again, I get it if you don't like this particular version for that reason, but if you are a Guilty Gear fan and you have access to this game, I'm telling you, give it a shot. Don't be biased. Just jump in, have some fun with it. I promise you will enjoy it a lot more than you think you will. Okay. Not just the beat 'em up mode, but the 4-player versus action. Just dive in it. And you can do 2v2s. You can do a 3v1 if somebody thinks that, they're that ready. If you want to, I don't recommend it, but you could. All right. You can kind of mix it up. But I just really appreciated this game at that time, trying to do something that was so much different than every fighting game that we had played up until that point. And I wouldn't be opposed to having like a Asuka mode that comes into Strive or anything like that. And hint. Either way, I appreciate you letting me take time to reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.